Hey everyone, this is Richard from Traderland.com, and in this video we're going to be talking about the N in CAN-SLIM, which stands for new products, new services, new management, and new price highs. And CAN-SLIM in general, if you're not familiar with it just yet, is basically a way to find promising growth stocks that could go on major price increases. And each of the letters stands for one kind of key characteristic that William O'Neill, the founder of Investors Business Daily, found a lot of the greatest winning stocks of all time shared before and during their major price increases. And in the previous two videos, we talked about current quarterly earnings and annual earnings, and today we're going to be covering the N in CAN-SLIM. So starting these off, what did William O'Neill say about new products, management, and highs? Number one, he said that 95% of winning stocks in his study from 1880 to 2008 had either a new product, new management, new industry conditions, or a new revolutionary technology that drove its price higher. Number two, he said that a stock making the new high list, especially on big volume in a bull market, might be a prospect with big potential. Number three, he said you should focus on companies with important new products or services, or that have benefited from new management or materially improved industry conditions, basically companies that have changed the way we live. That's so true. The greatest winning stocks of all time, if you think about it, changed materially the way we worked, lived, or played. And number four, he said, keep track of stocks making new all-time highs or new highs for the year, reinforcing number two. So in general, when we're thinking about the N in CAN-SLIM, we're thinking new products, new services, new management, new highs, and we're asking ourselves, is the company currently innovating or does it have a history of innovation? So just looking around, you can see a ton of different examples for companies that are changing the way we work, live, or play. Tesla, of course, changing the really car industry with its EV collection, Peloton changing the way we work out, and Netflix as well has had actually a bunch of different innovations like doing online streaming, creating original content, and you can actually see in the price of the stock those innovations. So it's very cool, and I think a great example of how new products and services can really change the trajectory of a stock's price. And lastly, of course, Google has changed everything when it comes to the internet, as well as all its different services and products that it offers. So that's a clear example right there. And moving on to a specific example, I think Zoom in 2020 really encompasses another important part of the N in CAN-SLIM, which means it doesn't just have to be a completely new product. It can also be a better version of an existing product, as they say, a better mousetrap. Because obviously there were already products and services out there, Microsoft Teams, Skype, that fulfilled kind of the online meetings, video conferencing needs, but Zoom simply built just a vastly superior product with greater video quality, better compression software. You can share your screen seamlessly. There was less buffering. And so in 2020, when everybody needed a video conferencing app to keep in touch with friends and family, keep their businesses running, and even go to school, Zoom was the clear choice. And obviously that was reflected in the stock's price advancing from under $100 to well over $500 in a very short amount of time. Another great example here is Apple with all its different lineup of products from the iPod, iPhone, iPad, MacBook Pro. This is a great example of a company that continues to deliver and innovate and develop new products that people want and consumers will continue to buy year after year. So Apple, a great example of basically a better mousetrap as well, producing a better phone, as well as a better laptop, developing the first tablet that was widely accepted. So Apple is another great example of new products and services. And moving on, the N in CAN-SLIM can also stand for new management. So for instance, we've got AMD here, and from its IPO, it had been pretty much just chopping around. And before Lisa Su, the current CEO, took over, it had actually fallen 95% from its peak. And under her new vision and introducing a better culture to the company, you can see that the business recovered strongly and the stock price has advanced more than 3,000% from these lows. So management can be incredibly important, especially when it's a visionary. And she really focused on innovative products, the future cloud computing, gaming, all those very important spaces and industries when it comes 2 chips. So that's a great example with AMD. And moving on, we've got the last piece of the puzzle. The N in CANSLIM can also stand for new price highs. And with this chart of Tesla, I basically want to point out that when a stock consolidates for a few months and few years, and then finally breaks above that key resistance level, this can mark the beginning of a sustained uptrend, as we see from Tesla here in 2013 into 2014, advancing from about $8 a share to up to around 60. And then once again, obviously from 2019 to 2020 and into 2021, advancing from under $80 a share to up to almost $900 a share, split adjusted. So once a stock breaks out into new all-time highs after a properly formed base and consolidation period, it can just mark the beginning of a strong uptrend, and that's when we want to be involved in a stock. So in summary, when it comes to the N in CANSLIM, what we're looking for is new products, new services, new management, and new price highs. Going back to the 1800s, really, all of these were common characteristics of the greatest winning stocks of all time. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please go ahead and leave a like down below and subscribe if you're new to the channel. And I'll see you guys in future videos.